Welcome and thanks everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us at our very first BECC gathering space today. We appreciate all of you. Before we begin, just take a minute to read over our land acknowledgement that we have today. All right. So today we have a pretty full schedule and welcome people in and out of our space. Remember to just be respectful of yourself and taking breaks as you need. Besides taking this day to just celebrate our amazing community members and partners that make BECC who we are, we also wanted to bring in more community voices. So today we'll hear from some mothers and fathers that will share some birthing experiences, parenting stories, experiences with our Parents as Teachers home visiting program, or some with our club groups. We will then hear about our BECC themes panel around celebrations, training, and policy. Then we will watch an outstanding video that is centered around Ujamaa youth and hear a beautiful song created by the Ujamaa Men's Music Group. In the afternoon, we will listen from members of our PAD Advisory Board and members from HFCC, and then recognize and watch our celebration video. After the video, we will hear from doulas around policy. And lastly, ending with a healing from Deja Joel and a closing from the one and only creator of BECC, Tamiko Ralston. And as always, please mute yourself when not speaking and show your beautiful faces as you feel comfortable. Please sign in by putting your name in the chat. And next, I will pass it over to Kathy Filbert, our St. Paul Ramsey County Public Health Family Health Division Manager, to welcome us for the day.
I want to welcome everyone to this space and this wonderful event to honor and acknowledge the work of the Birth Equity Community Council. On behalf of Ramsey County, I'd like to extend our greatest gratitude. I'm going to turn over here because I can see you're looking at my side. Our greatest gratitude for your partnership. The meaningful work that is being done would not be possible without the support, participation, and assets of you, our community partners. Each individual partner, you as our partner, provides us with a unique opportunity to gain a better understanding of birth equity and how it impacts our community. We know what the power of partnership has brought, and we are committed to continue to nurture it. And we look forward to the future. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. So we look forward to the future with you, and thank you for all the work you've done in our community. Thank you.
First up is our moms panel. Lasharian and Sharon, is everyone here to start?
Righty, well, this is going to be, as Amber mentioned, a panel where the moms talk about their experience with Club Mom, BECC, if they've been a part of BECC. And then we're also going to talk about, just their pregnancy and birthing experiences. And a lot of the questions I'm going to ask are based off of the NYC standards for respectful care at birth. So, yeah, we can get started. So will the moms on the moms panel please introduce yourself by giving us your name and the ages of your children?
I'm Quenisha, and I have two little dependents. And my first one, her name is Layla. She's 6. And then my little sneaky one, his name is Cairo, and he's 7 months. And yeah.
Thank you.
My name is Tiara, and I have one daughter. She's 3, and her name is Alexia.
Next is Deanna.
Hi, I'm Deanna. I have a 4-year-old son named Aiden.
Thank you. Okay, so can you all tell us how long you've been a part of Club Mom, and Beck, if you've been a part of Beck as well, and what your experience has been?
I can start real quick. I'm just going to give everybody kind of a background of what Club Mom is. So
Yes.
Club Mom is, it's a group where moms get together and they meet other moms in the community. So Club Mom meets once every 4th Monday of the month. We have been meeting virtually and some in person since COVID. We usually meet in person at the rec center in St. Paul, where we provide a meal for the parents. We also provide a cab for the parents to get to the facility. And once they're there, we have speakers. We have speakers on different things such as nutrition, budgeting, safety in the home. We like for our parents to kind of help with deciding what it is that they want us to bring in and more information that they need to make their parenting successful. So once we have a meal, and then the parents take their kids to the bathroom, and then we have usually Bethel students who provide daycare for the kids. And they drop their kids off at the daycare center, and then they have the time to spend with their peers along with a speaker where they can just relax and enjoy that time. If we also have Club Dad, so if there are dads there, they're also able to do the same thing, and then they go off and be with TC and William and do the Club Dad portion. And this is a time for parents to just have some time away, because sometimes parents don't have that time to be away from their kids and be able to focus on what is needed. And that's pretty much it. And then they come back together and the cabs pick them up and take them home. But it's an opportunity for parents. Some parents have cars, some parents don't. Some parents are sitting in the home all day with their kids, and they don't really have contact with other parents or other adults. So it's a time for them to meet other peers and to connect. And it's all about, if Ramsey County wasn't here tomorrow, that they would have somebody that maybe they connected with, that they can do babysitting with, or be a part of helping each other with that success in parenting during that time. So that's my little spiel. And back to Lashirian's question, I just wanted to give you guys kind of an introduction of what Club Mom, Club Dad is. Hopefully, Lashirian, if you have anything else to say that I missed. And I just wanted to put out there that we are taking referrals. So you can go online to Ramsey.net and refer parents that are interested in being a part of Club Mom, Club Dad.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sharon, for going back and explaining that for me. Look at me, I'm just ready to jump in. But we also can send out the Club Mom and Club Dad flyers attached to the summary email that we send out. So, and that way you guys can make referrals and read more about it. Okay, so yeah, my question. So please let us know how long you've been a part of Club Mom for the Club Mom panelists and what your experience has been like.
I joined Club Mom when I first moved to St. Paul. So it was about 5 or 6 years ago, going on 6 years ago. I was actually referred to Club Mom from my public health nurse in Dakota County. And she gave me a flyer for Club Mom, and I came and been a part of it ever since. I love it. I love the women that I've met and formed relationships with. And I try to refer everybody. I had a couple friends that have came They don't really stick it through, not as much as me, but I love the everything that it stands for though. And I wish that a lot of women would continue to stick it out, because you can form good friendships through it. So yeah.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna talk. Okay, I started Club Mom when I was pregnant with Aiden. And I got the information through my public health nurse too, my first one, Deb. That's a long time ago. But I was still pregnant with him. Once I had him, I kind of like, I think I stopped going just for like a month or two because I had him in the winter time. So that was rough. And then, yeah, we basically go whenever you guys have them. I enjoy it. I love it. I love meeting the moms and their kids. It's great to get out, especially in the evening at that time. Because most people, you know, once you're in the house, you're getting dinner ready. You know, you don't want to leave back out, but I definitely enjoy meeting the moms and their kids. And sometimes there's some dads around, but it would be great if more moms came and dads. And yeah, I have formed lots of friendships. So some of us hang out on the outside with our kids. It would be fun if more did it. You know, we don't have to just hang out during Club Mom. And I like the staff people there, the people who host it, and food's always good. Yep, I like to eat. We like to eat. And I will continue to go. I guess it kind of sucks with COVID. I mean, we met a few times. We were at the Science Museum, and it's just more fun doing it in person. Like, we need to be around people. We're human. But I guess Zoom works. But yeah, so that's Club Mom. I enjoy it, and I will continue to go.
Thank you. And I know you and Quenisha have been to a couple BECC meetings as well.
Oh,
so.
yep. BECC. I know it kind of died down a little for me once COVID hit, but I think you guys were still doing some by Zoom. I wasn't, but those are great too, because it's basically, yeah, moms are going there too, but we're learning about other things that are helpful for us that we can use. And yeah, food there too. So yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Well, it looks like Tiara dropped off a little bit. So when she joins back in, we'll be able to go back to her. Okay. So the next question we would like to ask is, while you and Quenisha were pregnant, were you given information about obstetricians, gynecologists, midwives, or doulas, or family medicine doctors, and the qualifications and medical experiences? Like, did you feel as though you had a good understanding and you had access to different medical providers that you can go to when you were pregnant? Were you given that information?
With Layla, no. I was 19. And I think my provider was actually Health Partners. And my first appointment with her, she's like, you're 19. I was considered obese. And so she's like, your baby could have Down syndrome. Like, she literally just like went off the charts. And I just started crying because I'm like, what the heck? And my mom was sitting there and she's just like, we were both so confused. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm crying. She just kind of like walks out the room. And I didn't know the clinic was like right up the street from my mom's house in Egan. And so I just would like walk up there for my appointments because it was accessible. And so I continued to go through with her being my OB. And she got on my nerves so much. I hated her. I snapped on her every chance I got. And thank goodness that she was not the one that delivered Layla. So no, I was not informed about any of that. She was horrible. But my son, I actually found a doctor who I loved and trusted and felt completely comfortable with. I never found Black doctor. And I always wonder where does people find them, because I never found one. But I was comfortable with her, and I didn't really care about the fact that she was Caucasian. And my delivery with him through her was amazing. I had no complaints, even with my delivery with Layla, no complaints. And so even though it started out rocky with Miss Attitude, it got better when I delivered. So
Hey, Kyra.
Good, good. Wow. And you see the difference in how, care,
yeah,
the stress that it caused.
exactly.
Feel it. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And now look, do my baby got Down syndrome? Oh, I was so mad at her. Who says that? I was like, excuse me, girl,
Right.
because I'm like 20 pounds overweight. Yikes.
Right.
Like, you just went all the way over yonder. I was like, ooh, child. Let somebody say that to y'all. Whew.
Right. And that definitely, they creates trauma around that. Now you have that memory, a part of
Always.
your
Always. Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. What about you, Deanna? You feel like you were given information about the different providers and given access to different providers?
I would have to agree with Q. My first pregnancy was bad. I have a heaven baby, but that pregnancy, I got a lot of information from like my public health nurse, but that was here at the house. But when it was time to go to like ultrasounds and go to appointments, the public health nurse is not around. So I was dealing with like the doctors there, the people at the clinic. I was going to ultrasounds. I had like 3 ultrasounds a week. The beginning of the week, the middle of the week, the end of the week. So during the first birth, it was really bad because my daughter had holes in her heart. She had a rare form of Down syndrome, but I didn't really have an understanding about a lot of stuff that was going on at that time. And then I ended up at 2 different hospitals. So a lot more other people that I didn't know, a lot more people coming into the room, a lot of more people giving me lots of other information that was really hard to understand. So the first time around, no. But Aiden, I had the same OB. I loved her. But again, she was only there at, that checkup that you have. She wasn't there at the hospital. She wasn't there at the ultrasounds. But I love her. And she is a white woman and I love her. She's great. But once again, I was going to the ultrasounds twice a week. I was meeting with, I just had one care team because I told them, I think we were all on the lookout too, because we wanted to make sure this pregnancy was, it wasn't going to be the same as my first pregnancy. So we actually stuck with one care team. Everybody was the same. No new people coming in and out, no new information. So with Aiden, we had the same people. I had more information. I even looked up more information on my own about, all the tests that I needed to take before the pregnancy, just to confirm like diagnoses and stuff, which is not always accurate because I did that test. I can't pronounce it correctly, but I did the it's the test where they put the needle in you while you're still pregnant to check for the Down syndrome.
Amniocentesis.
Yes. And I did all that during my first pregnancy, and it obviously was, it didn't turn out right. But with Aiden, he was fat. He came out healthy. Only thing he had was jaundice. And the first thing I did was look at the back of his neck because that's a sign of Down syndrome, that extra fat on the back of your neck. I obviously learned that with Madison. But yeah, he was 9.5 pounds. I had people coming in and out after I had him. And, the breast people, the people to help you schedule for the baby's first appointment. But yeah, I think the second time around, I did have the information that I needed. I did prefer a Black team. No offense, but I didn't get it. There weren't a lot of people around, and if I requested some people, but there was no one there, so I got what I got. But Aiden's pregnancy, my pregnancy with Aiden definitely went. Well, I had him early. I woke up the next morning. I looked like a blowfish, so I had 2 C-sections, so they took him out. But like I said, this pregnancy around. I definitely had the right care team and the right people. And like I said, I think it was more because my first pregnancy didn't go well. So we were all like, okay, let's make sure, she has everything she needs this time around or whatever. But yeah, I think I answered that question.
Yes, you sure did. And it just shows the difference between you doing your own research and your own self advocacy really made a difference as well. And then having the same team of people who know everything, because as we know, the efficacy of care, does go down when it's different providers and different people that you see all the time. So having the same people, that advocacy, that research, I love it. I'm glad that it turned around for both of you all. And then I also hear, wanting to have a Black provider, but not having access to one, not having that, wanting it, but not having access to it. Yes, and great points. And I see that China, our other Club Mom panelist, has joined. China, yes. So China, could you please unmute yourself and tell us your name? You know I said it twice, and the ages of your children.
Hi, my name is Chan Lamar. My kids' age are well, I don't know their age right now. 2, 4, and I have a month old.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. And would you like to comment on anything that was said before we move to the next question, China?
I had when I was pregnant with Daniel, I had one OB, and she was Black, and I guess she was like I don't know her religion, but she was pretty cool. I liked her. I seen her like a few times, and then after that she just left, and I was like, why did she left? And my mom told me that she went back to her country, and that hurts a lot because I really connected with that person. But anything else with my boys, I had all Caucasian nurses and doctors who delivered my baby, and they delivered my baby very well. Never had no complications with my pregnancy. Daniel was when I was giving birth with Daniel, he was stuck. His shoulder was stuck, and I think like a few nurses came in or doctors, and I was freaking out. I was like, "What's wrong with my baby?" They was like, "Oh, his shoulder stuck." I'm like, "Why are you talking to me so calm?" And so I had to learn, like, when you give birth, you have to, stay calm. So other than that, yeah, that's what I gotta say. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
You-
you. Yes, I'm glad. I'm glad that, overall, your deliveries went pretty well. And, thank you for sharing how you had that change and providers all of a sudden, but it still worked out. And I see that Tiara's back. Thank you. Did you want to add anything to those questions before I go to the next question, Tiara?
So my Wi-Fi dropped, so I've been off for at least 5 minutes, so I'm not aware of the questions.
Oh yes, no problem, no problem. Glad to have you back. Yes, I was just asking, when you were pregnant with your child, were you given information and access to different healthcare providers, whether that's gynecologists, midwives, doulas, family medicines? Were you made aware of those different type of providers that you can see during your pregnancy, and did you have access to those?
I was not made aware of it until I joined this women's option type of counseling place. But I was already like 6 months. But my doctors didn't make me aware of it. The guidance counselor, she did. She like helped me come up with a birth plan and everything. Other than that, no, I would not have known about different options, except for, like the ones that, like, I know you can do a at-home birth, you can do like a water birth, and you can do a hospital birth, but I didn't know anything else besides those 3 options. And that's just off my general knowledge.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm glad that you had that counselor that was able to help and give you more knowledge and resources regarding that. So when you guys did give birth at, the hospital that you gave birth, Do you feel as though that you and your family was respected, treated with respect and dignity while at the hospital?
I feel like the hospital didn't acknowledge what it was that I was saying and what it was that I had told them I wanted. So no, I don't feel like they respected our wishes.
Mm.
I felt like they mistreated me in a way. So when I was in the labor, I was extremely grouchy, and I had told them I was gonna be grouchy because I can't take pain. And I tried to like breathe through it and talk through it. But when I hit 7 centimeters, I was like, no, I just don't want to answer no more questions. Just stop talking to me, please.
Understandable.
And my mom had said she heard the nurses say, well, I'm not gonna come back in here and check on her because she's being extremely rude. And then after that, they treated me rude, and then that made me get really rude on a whole real level with it. And and I told them, like, you know, if you're not my doctor or nurse, you don't even got to come check on me no more because I can't deal with this stuff right now. And then after I had my baby, I had told them that I didn't want them to cut the cord right away. I wanted them to wait just a little while because of a religious belief. Just wait a little while before they cut my cord. They cut my cord. Didn't let the dad cut the cord. Like I wanted. I forgot. I told them I wanted to keep my afterbirth. They didn't let me keep my afterbirth. And they like rushed my baby out of the room from with me and didn't say anything. And so that's why I say, like, everything that I had wrote out and everything that I had planned, they totally disregarded it. And I felt like they kind of rushed me out of the hospital.
Wow.
Yep. And then it was at the same hospital that my sister had gave birth to, and they treated her totally different. I'm like, so y'all treated me like this because I told y'all I was gonna be just a little bit grouchy because of the pain. Whereas that was my sister's third child, and she had a C-section. So I'm guessing hers was different from mine, but I don't know what that was. They just treated her different from the way that they treated me. Like they sent her home with like a little welcome bag, and milk and diapers and everything. Where, like I said, they just rushed me out of the hospital. They barely even checked my baby's car seat the right way. I didn't know how to, you know, properly strap a car seat, and they didn't help me with anything. And I told them, you know, if I was to send a lawyer up in here to assess what happened to me, do y'all think y'all would get sued for what happened to me? And then they was like, no, wait, I'm sorry, I apologize if we offended you. Oh, but when I bring up lawyers, you know, they apologize to me and they try to treat me better because I'm not the smartest person and I don't know everything, but I do understand common laws, common boundaries, you know, common respect. I understand the common stuff. And then that's when they reached out to me and checked on me. They gave me information on breastfeeding and pumping. And that's when everything started being back better when I mentioned lawyers, because I knew something wasn't right. I didn't know what wasn't right. I just knew, you know, I felt mistreated. Yep.
Yes. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, my birthing experience was pretty terrible to me. So
wow. And you definitely shouldn't have that trauma surrounding your birth, surrounding welcoming your seed into the world. You know, you definitely shouldn't have that trauma, and it shouldn't have to get to that level of mentioning lawyers for people's attitudes to turn around. And it's just like, you know, understanding the basic level of the amount of uncomfortability that you feel when you give birth and not understanding that and then holding that against you. Unprofessional. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's why we're having these conversations, so that, you know, providers, everybody can know, you know, what these experiences are, so we can, you know, check ourselves. Thank you.
No problem.
Anybody else want to share about, you know, if you felt respected, treated with dignity, or your family was respected and treated during your delivery or after?
I do.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine, China. Go ahead.
When I gave birth to all my boys to different hospitals, one in Minneapolis. Have y'all heard of the Mother Baby Center?
Yes.
I love that hospital, and the reason why I kept going to all three, the Mother Baby, well, the same. Well, one was in Minneapolis, but the two in St. Paul. The reason why I love the Mother Baby Hospital because they treated me so respect. They talked to me so calmly. It wasn't horrible or anything, or I didn't have a bad experience with it. I would love to recommend moms to go there. Yeah, I feel so loved there. When I was giving birth to Zael, and I was giving birth, and I was in so much pain, and I was just, swearing and cussing. I never, like, when I gave birth to both of my boys, I never cussed, but this one, Zael, I had to swear, like, it hurt so effing bad, blah, blah. And the lady, she was so nice, and she's like, it's okay, you're gonna be okay. She was like, I understand that you're swearing, blah, blah. It was, I felt so loved. I felt they gave me some respect. Yeah, nobody was, rude or anything. I was giving my respect to the nurses, and they gave mine back. And yeah, I love that hospital. That's why I recommend Mother Baby Center.
Good. See, I'm glad. And that's the way you're supposed to handle situations like that. You're supposed to handle situations where, it's extreme level of comfortability with that respect and understanding and compassion. So I'm so glad that you're able to have those experiences, not one, but two, but three times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's our goal, is for, all Black moms to have that experiences when they are going through that. Because, unfortunately, Tiara's story isn't just, one, just one off, it happens more than you think. So I'm so glad that you had that experience, China. Does Deanna or Quenisha want to share? I think Quenisha was talking before.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gave birth at the Mother Baby Center, 10 out of 10. Damn near wants to stay. Okay. I want to go back and sleep over with the nurses, because why were they that helpful and loving and attentive? And I'm just like, wow, I love you guys so much. I just want to put you in my suitcase and bring you home. They were so sweet and gentle and kind and helpful. And they were just like, oh my gosh, you did so good, blah, 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 blah. And so grateful. And then my son's birth was at St. John's. And my nurse, she was just so encouraging. And
I'm sorry, we can't hear you, Kenisha.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My second birth was at St. John's, Cairo, and it was the same. Like, I had a great experience. The only thing, the food was disgusting, so the hospital needs to fix that. And I still haven't gotten a social security card for my son. So if anybody in here can know how to help me to go his social security card.
Oh, that was his.
Yeah, just text me.
So yeah, if anybody knows how to obtain that, please let me know. Yeah, but other than that, 10 out of 10. I'm so grateful that I've never had a bad birthing experience. My heart goes out to women that have bad birthing experiences, because that is just horrible. No woman should have to go through that. I'm just grateful that even under the care of when people that don't necessarily look like me, they still cared and loved for me and for my children and their safety and our safety when helping to deliver them. So I'm grateful.
Good. Yes, that is a blessing. Shout out to the Mother Babysitter in St. John's. You wanna share, Deanna?
Oh yes. Yeah, I think both went smooth. Like the time I was pregnant and getting ready to pop them out, I had emergency C-sections because I had preeclampsia. So I mean, everyone's like nervous and stressed, even the doctors and nurses, whatever. They're trying to get the baby out. But at the same time, hey, come on, get the baby out. Like, come on. Like, obviously, there's going to be a little attitude and whatever with the moms because, we're in pain, want the babies out. But yeah, during that time, I think, like I said, the first time around, I felt rushed. But they were all still very sweet. I did have my baby at the Mother Baby Center too. That place is great. Oh, it's so nice and fancy up in there. I even had a nice tub. Like, it was nice. Second time I was at Regents. I was there before they did the remodel. So it was ugly and nasty. And ugh, just gross. But like that carpet holds dirt. Like that's polio right there, measles. But it was they were great after you know, everyone was sweet and they came in, they had to push the belly down, you know, and you had the C-section. But I didn't feel that they were like disrespectful after babies popped out. I think they were nice, got me what I needed or whatever. But yeah, they weren't rude to me. So
Okay,
yeah.
good. I'm glad, you know, despite feeling a little rushed, you still felt like, you know, you were treated with respect and dignity, and that's so important. So also, did you all have skin to skin contact immediately, even if you had a C-section? So after you gave birth, did you have skin to skin contact immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I did not. And like I said, after I did my research for my second time, that's very, very important. And yeah, they took the babies right away, but I couldn't have skin to skin because my first baby had all those cords on her, so they would not let me have it at all, at all. Aiden, I had him. Petra, my friend with her, she took him. I was like, girl, you got to follow him so they don't switch him up. But they did not give me skin to skin contact. And then he had the jaundice, so he had to go under the UV light. But I'm like, no, I need him on me. He got to be on me. He got to be on me. So then eventually he was on me. But no, they definitely failed the first time. And that is very important. They say they thrive. They say they thrive. So like I said, after I did my research, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a no. I don't care if the baby, if you have a C-section or the other way, that's very important. So yeah.
Thank you. I'm on the phone, baby. Did anybody, Tiara or China, Quenisha, want to share if they had skin to skin contact right away?
And I did it with Layla, and immediately when she was placed on my, she like as soon as she came out, they put her on my chest, and she literally started to crawl towards my breast, and my milk started to come out. So it was like beautiful to see. I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And like she went out directly to my nipple to start nursing, and I was like, oh my God. Yes. And so that was beautiful. Then with Cairo, as soon as he came out, I was like, listen, little bro, I'm kind of in pain. So go ahead over there. And then I just asked him how much he weighed. And then it was like, he's 8 pounds. I was like, dang, he's big. Ouch. And then my mom grabbed him and then they gave him to me. I was like, oh, he's so freaking cute. So yeah, he didn't get directly put on me like Layla, but little bro's still attached, you know? So, you know, he's still here. But skin is definitely important, and it's so beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
And for me, I did not do skin to skin right after birth, but Lexi's dad did.
Good.
And I think he told me a similar story that that the baby tried to like move to his nipples or something. I think that's what he told me. But yeah, so I didn't do it, but she did do skin to skin.
That's good. That's good. You want to share, China? You did skin to skin right away in your boys?
Yep. All 3 of my boys, skin to skin.
Good. 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 Yes.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. So
now.
Oh, look at it, so cute. I love it. I love it. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So were you all allowed to decide who you do and do not want in the room, including staff members during exams and procedures? And was your decision respected?
Yes, I did decide who was in the room, and it was respected.
Good. Good.
Yeah. I didn't really, I just wish that, I mean, I had a COVID baby. So it was so different from 2015 to 2021 because it was during a pandemic. And so you could only have one person allowed. And so it was hard to kind of choose between my son's dad and my mom. Because I never got to experience like the fathers being present. And so I wanted to experience that with him, but I still chose my mom. And so that just sucked. It really did. And so, but it really sucked because you can't have your family in there, but they have, so many different nurses coming in. You have different nurses because a lot of them work, 7 p.m., 7 a.m. So, by the morning you have a new nurse than you had the previous night. And so, I mean, I gave birth May 9th and then I was out of there May 10th. So just in the night that I was there, I had probably I met 5 or 6 different women that came in and out of my room. And so that was just that was the part that just sucked because you could not have your family, but they could have so many different people coming in, not even including, the birth certificate people, all the different people that come in and out of that room. And so it just didn't make any sense to me, but I can't be like, yo, all y'all get out. I'm going to still have my family come in because no, I can't. But yeah. But with Layla, everybody came in and I had no problem. If I wanted, I didn't really want anybody to leave. So it's okay.
You wanted a circle of support, but I get how that can be a contradiction, as many different hospital staff can come in, but you only one person or 2 people from your support system in your
exactly
village. So I get that portion.
And that part kind of sucks. And so I can only imagine how other women who are it's tossed up between their mom or their child's father. And that's the part that I was like, yikes, that's a hard one.
Yes.
It's a real hard one.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Anybody else want to share?
I do.
Yes.
When I was giving birth to Zael, I was basically kind of there by myself. My doula went to go to another mom because she was giving birth. So I thought that I was gonna be by myself. I started to feel sad, and then another lady had popped up. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. It was my niece. Yeah, so I felt like I was by myself, and another doula had texted me, and she had came. I didn't feel alone anymore. I felt happy that she finally, came because his dad wasn't present, so I was kind of grateful that she was there.
Good. I'm glad you were able to have that support. So important.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tiara, Deanna, want to add to it?
I forgot. What was the question?
Oh, yes. The question was, let me see. Just basically, do you feel as though you got to decide who you wanted or who you didn't want to be in the room, including staff members doing exams and procedures, and was your decision respected?
Oh, yes, I guess, at the beginning, but like some of the other moms say, people are coming and going. Then you have the registration people coming in, and then, but yeah, they were respected. Yeah, I think we were respected. If someone came in, I was tired or whatever, I'm like, can you guys just come back later? Same with family, I guess. But yeah, I think it was respected.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. And yes, we're definitely going to be taking some questions from the chat in about 5 to 10 minutes. We got some good questions in there. Okay, so ultimately, during your pregnancy, birth, and after, do you feel as though the information that you were given was easily understood? And do you feel like what you were saying to your doctors and nurses was easily understood to them? So do you feel like it was good communication and it was a clear understanding between both parties, between you and the doctors and nurses?
My first one, no. I was 19. Like I keep saying, like, no. I literally hated her. I like, oh my goodness, that lady. So no. And with my son, I was older and I felt like I knew a little bit more. It still had been a while, but my doctor at the time, she made sure to just like answer any questions that I had, and made sure, because I had placenta previa, which was crazy, and I would keep going back in weekly to see if it was moving. And I was so scared because I was like, I do not want a C-section. And or just like the fear of hemorrhaging after giving birth. And so eventually, probably around the 36-week mark, it moved. My placenta moved. Thank God. So she was just like explaining to me what it was. Stay off Google, because I was reading Google. Shame on me. And so here I am in my head, like, I'm gonna die. And I was just really nervous. But she was like, Quenisha, everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna move, everything. And so yeah, so that was explained to me really well. But and afterwards too, the only thing I think I would say about giving birth afterwards is nobody really puts emphasis on postpartum. And
Right.
I think that that's something that that should be cared about more than birth, in all honesty, because it just like comes in like like a wave. And I mean, even when you feel like you're not going through it, it's almost like you are. And sometimes my mind would like trick me, like, you're not going through it, and I'm literally going through it. And so it doesn't just end after 6 weeks also. So I think a lot of after 6 weeks, they're like, mom's fine, she's healed, blah 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 blah. And it's like, no, I'm actually thinking I'm loony, so I need help. And so I think both times they just, especially with Layla, because that's when my postpartum was horrible, and I suffered postpartum hair loss. All my hair fell out. And yeah, none of the doctors would really help me or help to understand me. That was hurtful. And I'm like, yeah, my hair fell out. So what's happening? Like, when I say all of it, I mean gone, nothing. And so that was sad. And then they'd put me on 50 different medications, and horrible. And I think the first thing a lot of doctors want to do is put people on medication. And it's like, they make you feel worse before you feel better. You know that, right? And yes, so I just wish that there was more help for postpartum. And my son's 7 months, and I still need a little bit of help now. And so I'm in therapy, and that helps too. I've been seeing her since he was like a week old. And so yeah, I just wish some people helped, doctors helped a little more with that, or just gave proper resources for moms immediately after they give birth.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we even have in the chat, from a doctor saying that, yes, postpartum is overlooked often. So thanks for bringing that up and talking about it, because, you're right. You can't, it stresses the need for that continuing and ongoing care after pregnancy, after birth. Because you're right. Everything doesn't stop at the 6 weeks. So thank you so much for stressing that and bringing it to our attention. Thank you. Anybody else want to share about, the communication? Did you feel that there was a clear understanding and communication between you and your medical providers?
No, there wasn't. And I always say both pregnancies because both of them were completely different. And the first communication, it definitely sucked. They were using all these huge terms and words. Like, I honestly thought, like, my life, I was in a Lifetime movie with my first kid, because all I was seeing was sick kids in a NICU, and the doctors throwing out these huge words, and, oh, well, your insurance lacked, or that's enough insurance, or we're going to take them off the ventilator or whatever. Like, it was a lot, no communication. And then I don't know, maybe it's just me. I swear I'm not discriminating or anything, but I felt some type of way about older white men, doctors, because that's who I had, like the heart doctors were older white men. And I don't know, I kind of felt like I said, they rushed me or said, well, this is your only option. Or if she has heart surgery or whatever, she's gonna live a life in pain, whatever. But all that was coming from the older white men. Like, I don't know, like, and then we had all the different nurses coming in and everyone saying other stuff and or using other terms when basically you all saying the same thing, but now we're using different terms and stuff that I have no understanding of, or different lines that have to go in the body, or oh, we have to put a line in the head, or we have to put a line between the legs, or we have da 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 da. So I think the communication was definitely off. Even the paperwork, all the stuff you're signing. What am I signing? What's down here? More medication, more terms. So I think the communication was definitely bad. Not saying I'm slow or anything, but all those terms and a sick kid at the same time. Yeah, I think that really sucked. But like I said, I had I had 82 years later. So like I did a lot of research, remember? So I knew what I was going into. I made sure things were clear. I made sure you use words that I could understand. If we were going to use medication or get a diagnosis, let's make sure we're talking together so we are on the same page. But so the second one was okay, but like I said, a sick kid in the NICU and all those terms and all that communication definitely sucked. So I think they could do better. And there are some, like, no one thinks you're gonna have that situation. So it's like, don't come in the room like, okay, well, she's diagnosed with da 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 da. On top of da 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 da, you're gonna need 50 this, 50 that, plus 35,000 surgeries. Like, slow down and explain it more clear, with words that I can understand. Sit down, get to my level too, because I felt like intimidated too.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. I just got so much from that. The power dynamic, the stress of having a sick child already, and people coming in and throwing these big words at you that you haven't even heard before.
Yeah.
And then, like you said before, hey, nobody's judging you or saying it's anything bad, what you acknowledging the differences between, having these white men doctors say these big words to you when you're in a stressful situation, and just trying to process all of that. So thank you so much for sharing that. And like you said, getting down to eye level, just that slight detail, makes the difference. So you don't feel like they're above you and you're down here and you already don't understand them. You're already going through this stress, just that power difference. So thank you so much for sharing it. That is so true. Tiara or China? Oh, Tiara, you said, I think you shared. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyone else want to share about, if there was clear understanding and clear communication between you and your medical providers?
Okay. You were correct. It was a misunderstanding.
Okay. It was a misunderstanding. Okay. Yes. Oh, and I like too in the chat, birthing and beyond requires a village. I love that. So, okay. So we're just going to move into just some feeding questions before we go to the chat, because we do have a few good questions in the chat. So, did you receive resources to prepare for feeding your baby? And did you feel confident enough when you went home to feed your baby? Or whichever way you decided to feed your baby?
With my daughter, yes, the lactation consultant helped me so much, and my milk came in right away. I had no issues, and so it was really good. Oh my God. And she was exclusively breastfed for a year, and we did good. And here we are 6 years later. I had a breast reduction after I was done nursing her, not thinking that it would ever affect me if I decided to have another child. And so when I had my son, I had no milk. Thank God for women who donate their milk, because he was on donor milk for the night that we were there. And so she just was telling me like let him drink as much as he wants here. But he was gonna have to be on formula. And so it was discouraging because I'm like, the second he gets on this, that's just the only thing that he's gonna want. And because of formula keeps them full longer than breast milk. And so he would drink the donor milk, and I kid you not, you guys, an hour later he'd be hungry again. And so I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do at home with him if I don't have any milk, you know? And she's like, you're gonna have to give him formula. And so they sent me home with milk, and they gave me a hospital grade pump. And so I was just pumping, trying to get milk, and like it probably took 4 or 5 days. And finally I started to get milk. I was nursing him and formula. And then we transitioned from off of pumping because that was just too much for me, and just put him back on the breast. And here we are 7 months later. He has 7 teeth. So imagine how I feel. We're done because biting is just, I'm done. I can't. But it makes me sad because my milk was never like it was with my daughter. And when I went to the lactation consultant after I gave birth to him, she told me it was because when they give you a breast reduction, they cut off certain glands, and it could possibly affect your milk, the way you produce your milk. And so it made me so sad, you guys. And
hey, you know, like what's in the chat, you know, congratulations for the hard work you did to feed and care for your baby.
Thank you.
So any amount of breast milk that you can give your baby is sufficient, you know.
Right.
So you did what you could. You worked with the people you needed to work with. I'm glad that the hospital was able to help you out with donor milk and hook you up with a lactation consultant. So, you know, that teamwork of working together, married together perfectly, and you were able to feed your baby despite having that breast reduction, having that barrier. So congrats.
Exactly. Thank you. So I felt like both times lactation, thank goodness for lactation consultants, because they are so needed and appreciated, and they really helped me. And so yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the lactation consultants on this call are giving you props, saying thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So anybody else feel as though that they got prepared sufficiently at the hospital, and if they felt confident feeding their baby when they went home?
I didn't. Aiden, so I also had a breast reduction back in, I think I was like 20 or 21, but a little personal information. They're saying how, well, hey, we're gonna save the nipple. You may want kids down the future, whatever. I'm like, okay, I was just thinking of small boobs, whatever. But so they did save it, but I didn't get the opportunity.
Sorry, if nobody can they mute their
I'm so sorry. That's
oh yeah, no problem.
I didn't get the opportunity anyways to breastfeed Madison. But then for Aiden, they got that first, what do you call the first important
colostrum?
Yeah, they got that. But then they were helping me arrange his head, and I had a whole bunch of people in there like positioning his head in my arms and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy. But then when I was there for 14 days, then when I got home, this wasn't gonna work. I had a C-section, so I was just like, this was not gonna work to breastfeed him. Like, I'm at home, I don't have all those hands adjusting the head and the arm and the breast for me. So he was not breastfed. But I did have the people come in. I had a pump and all of that, but it just didn't work out. So he was on the Similac, and we just went from there. But at least he got the first part.
Yes, like I said before, yes, any amount that you give your baby is sufficient, you know, and you did your part in trying. It would have been nice if they could have showed you how to breastfeed at home by yourself. That's one thing I see as well as a doula, is that sometimes when you give birth and you try to breastfeed, Like, you know, I've seen one client where they were holding the baby's head while the mom was laying back breastfeeding. I'm like, how is she gonna learn if you don't teach her to do it?
Yeah, it didn't. It was fast too. But
Yes.
I didn't have milk the first time, I guess. I don't know if it was part of the reduction or not, but it just didn't, nothing even popped out the first time. And so I was shocked when I did get that little amount for Aiden. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Hey,
but
you
he's not
did
even
your
on
part.
Similac anymore, so we're past
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you definitely did your part. You did. Any of the other moms want to share before we quickly go to the questions? I know we have 8 minutes, so I want to get a chance for you guys to share and answer the 2 questions that we have in the chat. Excuse me?
No, I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Oh, okay.
The questions.
Okay. All righty. So since we're on the subject of breastfeeding, I'll just ask the breastfeeding question. So Linda Kopecki from the Minnesota Breastfeeding Coalition, she's her question is, okay, so if you had a delay in your milk coming in, did the hospital ever bring up donor milk as an option? Or if your baby needed supplementation, did they start with offering formula? So that's the question right there. Let me know if you guys need me to reread it. And it seems that Quenisha did mention that they did give her donor milk.
No and no, we didn't. No suggestion or none of that.
Oh, really? So you
They
didn't
just
get
brought
any
in the
suggestions for donor milk?
Yeah, no, they just brought in the little bottles of Similac.
The formula. Okay.
Okay. They didn't say any suggestions or donors or none of that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
I didn't need it with Layla because my milk came in immediately.
Okay. Oh,
and then with Cairo, yeah. They asked me what did I plan on doing for feeding, and I said I wanted to nurse him, but my milk wasn't coming in. Oh my God. So they said that I could go ahead, China.
For me, I was struggling because it was like no milk was coming out. So I just told him I want to do formula. By the time I went home, I was still struggling how to breastfeed. Usually when I was dating with Daniel, I took it to a T, but now having Zaya, I was struggling. So I just did formula. I gave up. It was so hard. He was sucking so hard. It hurt so bad. I was like, you know what? No. Formula. So yeah, so right now we're still doing formula, but I'm still pumping out milk and just to still relieve milk. And no, I don't give it to him because I get confused of because they say that you can do both with breast milk and formula, and I was giving him both and he kept like spitting up a lot like a volcano. So I was like, you know what, just Similac. So I just decided Similac can still pump and the way breast milk.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have a quick follow-up question. So when you were struggling at the hospital to feed him, do you feel like you were getting help with that? Or were you just struggling and then you were struggling, you know, just yourself, and then you said you want a formula? Did you get help when you were struggling at the hospital?
My doula helped me latch on one time.
Okay, your doula helped you. Okay.
My doula helped me, and then when she left, I tried to, but the nurses wasn't helping me at all. They saw me struggling, but they didn't help me at all. So I was like, you know what? I just gave up and gave him formula instead.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
same. They helped. They saw me struggling too, and I'm like, no, you guys were just here with like 10 hands on me, and now I have to do it myself. Like it's not working. So they, this sweet African woman, the nurse, she was really sweet. She's like, you're gonna have to do this when you get home by yourself. And I'm like, well, here can help me. So she helped me a few times, but it was just too much. It was stressful to me. It wasn't working. So.
Okay. Hey, like I said before, I give you all y'all props for trying. That's amazing. So that's definitely sufficient. Tiara, do you want to share about, if you had a delay in your milk coming in, if they offer donor milk, or if your baby needed supplementation, did they start off by offering formula?
Hi everyone.
What did you say, Tiara? Sorry.
No,
You
I'm
called
sorry.
me,
I
right?
thought I heard somebody else speak.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was calling on Tiara Shaw, one of the panelists.
Oh, welcome, Tara. Tara's has stepped on also.
Oh, yes. Welcome, Tara. Yeah. Tiara.
Okay,
yes,
so this
Tiara
is Tiara Shaw. This is
yes,
Shaw.
yeah, Tiara
and so,
Shaw.
with me, they did do the formula first before they even offered me any breastfeeding information. And they didn't ask it. I mean, they didn't offer it until, remember, I was telling you they didn't offer it until I mentioned lawyers to them. That's when they started getting me all the information and everything. So, yep. First, Lexi was powder fed with the Enfamil. And then when I did find out about the breastfeeding information, my milk came out as soon as I started expressing. So
good. Okay. Yes, and like again, great self-advocacy. Great.
I noticed that it's not something that, you know, they will really offer to you. It's something that you have to speak up about, because if I hadn't mentioned that I was planning on nursing, and I knew about donor milk because I had heard about it. And so when I said it and I asked about it is when I was given when Cairo, they had gave it to him. But I feel like otherwise, no, they're gonna give your baby formula.
Yes. So you're saying, like, you have to know about it and ask for it to get it.
Ask for it to get it. It's not going to be offered to you.
Yes.
You have
the first
to.
thing to be offered is formula.
Exactly.
Thank you. And so we have another question in the chat from Dr. Pomelo. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Okay, so how do your pregnancy experiences impact your relationship with doctors, nurses, hospitals, clinics for non-pregnancy health needs? Again, I'll answer one more time. I know we're short on time, so I'm gonna ask this question again fast. So how do your pregnancy experiences impact your relationship with doctors, nurses, hospitals, clinics for non-pregnancy health needs?
For me, it just allows me to just gather more information. Like before I go into a doctor's office or whatever, if I'm bringing me or myself, I'm already educated myself. Just the questions I need to ask them and/or like my own research. Not through just Google, like a legit site, just so that I'm prepared already. So if they're gonna ask me a question or if they're gonna suggest a medication, I'm already ahead of them. And there is gonna be a doctor that I suggest. If that doctor's not there or that person that I specifically asked for, then we're gonna come back. So I've just prepared myself already. But other than that, it doesn't affect like in a bad way. It's just I'm advocating for myself and my child before they are. So but I picked out our whole team. We have people that I like that Aiden's been with since he's been born. So we're gonna stick with them. If there's a problem with them, I want to know too, where did they go before you try to give me someone else. But yeah, so I'm just advocating for myself. But yeah, it doesn't affect anything, like anything bad. Yeah.
Okay. So you learn from this whole process, self-advocacy. Because you are your first advocate. I love that. You learn that self-advocacy and making sure you understand. Because, you know, a lot of the times, you know, you may not understand, you know, and it's not always checked in to see if you do understand. So I love that. Anybody else want to share? China, Quenisha, or Tiara?
It doesn't really affect anything. I just feel like a lot, like now doctors are a little edgy when it comes to a lot of stuff, but they don't affect nothing. It is what it is.
Okay. So you said despite doctors being edgy, you know, it's not impacting, you know, you in a negative way when you receive care. Well, it's not impacting you towards reaching out for care, even though they're edgy. Okay. Yeah. And what do you mean by edgy? Doctors are edgy.
I'll just say, like, you know, when it comes to like every single time I go in for like a checkup or something, I'm kind of push the vaccine, and their attitudes change a lot towards me the second they look at my like paperwork and they see that I'm not vaccinated. Their entire demeanor towards me changes. The care and stuff, just it's almost like they don't want to help me. And so I've just recently been going through that, and yeah.
Okay. So. Thank you for sharing that. You know, that, you know, vaccine bias. Thanks for sharing that. Tiara, China, want to share?
Can you rephrase the question for me? This is Tiara.
Yes, I sure can. So, he basically asks, so how does your, let me go back up so I can make sure. Okay, so how do your, okay, so we talked about our pregnancy and birthing experiences, right? How does those experiences with those medical providers impact us when it comes for our non-pregnancy healthcare needs? So how does that impact you with, going to the doctor in general, seeing medical providers in general,
I don't feel like the negative experience that I had with my birthing experience, I don't feel like that has a negative impact on my outlook at for the doctors and the checkups and things like that. I know that there is a such thing as health disparity.
Yes.
As a community health worker and, just as a normal person. And so I feel like the good doctors outweigh the bad. The good experiences outweigh the bad. Doctors are typically, for everybody being happy and healthy, typically. And it's a select few, they might be racist, they might be sexist, or whatever the case may be. I don't feel like it affected me badly. I just feel like in my mind, to me personally, that I just had a bad birthing experience. And I know what to look for and I know what to do to try to help prevent it if I ever do have a kid again. But yeah, I don't feel like it affected me poorly at all. I just know that was just a terrible experience for me. That's all.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And you're right. Like you said, there are doctors out there, who do want the best for all their patients, but that's why we're having this conversation today, because, too many Black moms have this experience. So yeah, thank you for, highlighting that and mentioning that. China, you want to share anything? Okay, well, thank you all so much for sharing the ups, the downs, the challenges, the barriers, the joys, the positive, the negative. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us. The whole point is this is having you in the room with providers, current providers and future providers, so that we can continue to have so we can achieve birth equity and make it so that every mom has a positive birthing experience, has a positive postpartum journey experience. Again, thank you so much. This is definitely contributing to achieving birth equity. You women are great leaders in this community, and we so appreciate and honor for your experiences, wisdom, and expertise. Thank you so much.